Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the PokerGO podcast. My name is Donnie Peters. His name is Tim Duckworth. That's how my day felt, okay? That is how my day felt. Okay? God. We're going to talk about my WSOP Main Event Day 1C. We're also going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. I did not bust, okay? So I need to try and spin this around.
I'll give you guys one guess at how many chips you bagged off that reaction to open the show.
It's not even that. Like, it's just not even that. But we'll get into it all. You know, I'll talk through some hand histories. Yeah. It's just one of those nights. One of the things I generally do when I like have a bad day at poker or I bust or whatever, I pretty much tilt in the car ride home for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay,
that's get fair. It out, that's like just not like doing anything tilting, but just like emotionally, like I'm feeling tilt, right? Mm-hmm. But you know, just get it out, whatever, not a big deal. You know, by the time I get home, it's gone.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm human. I have those moments. But the problem is that I'm not hopping in my car. I'm hopping on the podcast. So you guys are going to get a little bit of the tilt, okay? So that's just how it is.
I've been chatting with someone about like reactions to beats or whatever hands. Let's say you get in with aces v kings and he hits a king. How do you react? I feel very like I just have no reaction anymore.
In the moment?
Yeah, like right then in the moment.
Nothing happens.
Yeah,
nothing.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Yeah, okay, good. That's how.
Like
inside your mind is just like you mother.
It's not even. It's never against the other person. Really, it just happens. So it just sucks, right? Like it's not like I'm looking at the guy and being like, oh, F you, you know.
Sure.
And if they make a bad play and get lucky, fine. You want them to make bad plays. If they just get lucky, if it's an aces versus king situation, that's just inevitable. Fine, they just got lucky. I just get a little bit upset, you know, when it's all done.
Yeah.
But I'm being honest. I know a lot of people fucking say this. I really don't think that I tilt while I play. I don't know. I just feel like I can block it out. And maybe that's like the athlete in me, you know, like just having played soccer my whole life. Like you screw up on the field, you're going to screw up, but like you can't stop. Like the worst times for me to screw up in soccer were like right before halftime or at the end of the game. Because then you have a long period of time. And today, what was annoying is I lost 2 or 3 big pots the last hand before the break. So then I had to sit on it. I would almost rather just deal the next hand and just be like, okay, I got to focus. I got to focus on the next hand. You know, but what you have 20 minutes then to like let it mull over, that's annoying to me. Or when you get to the end of the day, that's annoying to me. I would rather just play. Because I can just quickly forget about it because I have to focus on the next hand. If I don't focus on the next hand, I'm not putting my best foot forward.
Good point.
And as Patrick Leonard always says, it's always about just playing the next hand as best you can. But if there's no next hand to play, that's frustrating to me. So anyway, we're going to get into all of that stuff on this episode. We got a $600 PokerNews Deepstack winner. The 10K 8-game championship is still playing out, so I don't think we're going to talk about that fully. Maybe we'll touch on it a little bit, but that's good. That's going to be one of those ones that we come back to in the next episode. What about the $800 summer celebration? Same thing there?
That's the one that's playing out? That is going on in the corner.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the $2,500 Nolan Hold'em Freezeout is
that's
also
in the other room where you were.
Yep. And it's playing down.
Yeah.
It had a guy literally singing all day. Like singing, like he would just
the God Bless America guy.
Yeah, but then he's saying Queen, like he's saying like multiple things, like just belting it out, top of his lungs.
I mean,
he did the entire. They play. Okay, hold on. Let me get through the stuff, and then I'll talk about the day. Okay. I'm all over the place, coming in hot. I'm sorry. We got community cards too. Hot. I know, but this is how it is. I'm not in my car. You know.
Maybe you should have gone for a drive first. Actually, does your car even drive right now?
No, my car is stuck here in the back.
You Ubered again today?
No, my wife is going to get me.
Got it.
But yeah, and then we'll deal with the car this weekend. It's like I'm playing. She's got work. Like it's just we don't have time, so it's just frustrating. Anyway, if you're listening to the episode, please do hit the favorite button, leave a review. It does help us grow. If you are watching on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the PokerGO YouTube channel, and please drop a comment That would be absolutely freaking spectacular. If you love poker but you don't want to spend a dime, check out playpokergo.com. It's free to play. It is super easy to jump into. And yes, it actually feels like real poker. I do, listen, I have played on many different free to play poker apps. And I hope by now that the listeners understand that I will tell you guys how it is. And if I can't do that, or how I feel, and if I can't do that, I probably won't talk about something. Okay, I'll just avoid it because I don't want to lie to you guys, whatever. So if you're new, a lot of people new on, watching from YouTube and that sort of thing, that's just how I am. Okay. And I do legitimately think like the Play Poker Go stuff for a free to play poker app is extremely authentic. I really do believe that. I mean, it's there. There's no way that it's any different than going to play 1-2 at your local casino. I'm sorry. Like the shit you see at 1-2 at your local casino is out of control. Okay. So anyway, hit up playpokergo.com or grab the game on iOS and Android. We will see you at the tables.
Before you continue, just let's make a note of this 12:55 a.m.
Oh yeah. Let's
Technically
go.
July 5th, but if you're looking at us, if you're watching on YouTube or on PokerGO.com, we are very American today. Obviously Donnie is. I am not. I've stolen the culture. I bleed green and gold 364 days of the year. But
it's the
today,
first thing I've eaten all day.
Really? Today I bleed red, white, and blue because it is technically still kind of, to me, July 4th. Donnie, fantastic USA kind of starter jacket there. We got the American hat. I did the USA visor, the USA sunglasses, and this women's extra large blouse. I learned something today. Let me ask you if you knew this. Did you know women's shirts and pants, the buttons and the flies are on the other side?
Yes, I knew that.
Do you know why?
I always just thought because then you know that they're they're men and women.
No, I was told that like back in the olden days, beyond our time, before our time, women used to get dressed by others. So it was the same. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I learned a new fact today, but
that makes sense.
Anyway, we are celebrating Independence Day here in America. And the one thing before we get into it, I just want to say I didn't see too many outfits compared to normal. I normally see a lot, but today didn't feel like
I was thinking this at the table because I was looking around, and I said I thought the same thing. There were a few people, and I honestly think, not to get political on people, but I feel like when you dress like I'm dressed, people look at me and they feel like I voted a certain way.
Got it. But see, you're not very. I'm not
scared. I'm not scared to admit that I did not vote that way. But they look at you like you did, right? They look at you like, okay.
I think if you wear the more red, remember how I had that red.
But people were definitely like, I was catching some looks.
I was getting a lot of looks too, but like, I'm also I'm in a women's blouse and jean shorts, so that's why I'm getting the looks and the mullet and mustache, all the combo items. But the reason I want to bring this up because I think you're going to talk about Music Man in the 2500 Freezeout who was wearing like a kind of like a jumpsuit. He's wearing like an American flag jumpsuit. I couldn't see this guy. I've seen the videos. It's some kind of jumpsuit or shorts and jacket combo, but it is American flag. He was wearing it yesterday. And I wonder if that, you may have a winner over there. He was wearing it yesterday in the Freezeout, and today belting out tunes for Donnie.
So I get here. We start the main event. Before we start, they play the national anthem. Already wasting my effing time, right? I mean, I cannot stand the national anthem.
I love the national anthem. It's just such
a giant waste of everyone's time.
I've watched so many national anthems on YouTube. I watched the Chris Stapleton one today at the Super Bowl where he plays the electric guitar. Oh, that's so
and
good.
already people are looking at me funny because I'm just on my phone.
Yeah,
trying to do stuff.
That's very rude.
Yeah, exactly. People are looking at me like I'm rude, and of course I'm dressed like an American flag. So anyway, then we start playing, and this guy just starts singing the national anthem, like in like level 2 of the main event. But he's like on the other side of the room in the $2,500 Freezeout. He sings the entire thing, start to finish, to the point where everyone in the main event then gives the guy a round of applause.
As you should.
Shut the F up, dude.
As you should.
We already had the freaking, like, what are we doing? And then he started singing.
He didn't sing it during. He sang it after?
Huh?
Wait.
Yes. This was
I thought he was singing it during.
No.
Oh, that's no. I don't like that.
Before the first card was dealt, we did the national anthem. Okay. And then like 2 hours later, he did it on his own, like in the middle of play. in the middle of while his tournament was going on and while the main event was going on. He's just screaming. And he also at one point was screaming some other song, and then he was also singing Queen. It's like, dude.
I do. I'll give the check mark for the Queen. I do.
I don't care about the Queen, but like I can just.
What song can I ask what song you choose?
I don't remember. If I heard it, I would know.
My top 5 Queen songs.
Shut up. Shut up. Okay, so
this is.
How do you want to do this? Do you want to talk about my stuff? Do you want to talk about the numbers?
Let's do you last.
Okay.
Let's actually. You know what? I'm gonna flip it on you. I'm the host today. We're going to bring it back to the main event. Let's quickly touch on Nick Ahmadi winning the $600 PokerNews Deepstack. Topped the field of 5,600.
Rich is getting so mad.
I know, it's fine. 5,667 entrants, so I'm going to go really quick. To win $302,000. Ran Cador, $201K. Nicholas Goddard, $149K. George Dominguez, $112K. And Dan Schill, who we've talked about the first 2 days, chip leading, $84K. Gave him a PokerGO podcast hat today. I said, good luck.
Dan
he goes,
Schill
I'm already
is
out.
What's he known as? Poker Dad or Dad Poker or something? He was on No Gamble in the Future.
Yeah.
Like invited by Poker Stars. And it's like Poker Dad or Dad Poker or something. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm sorry. I met you at the studio. I'm completely butchering whatever your online name is.
But we gave him and his friend a PokerGO podcast hat. I did the full part of saying, good luck. Hope it brings you a win. Make sure you wear that and you win. It's ready. He goes, oh, I'm already out. Whoops, my bad. But,
Dr. Dad Poker.
Dr. Dad, that's it. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. But yeah, Nick Ahmadi wins that PokerNews Deepstack. And now I think we can go into the main. Get that out of the way. Main event time.
All right, cool. What were the numbers like today?
Not good, as I predicted. Not good. We have I'm going to say unconfirmed, but semi-confirmed.
Unconfirmed? Look at the app. It's confirmed in the app,
man.
dude.
I don't know.
It's up to date as you can get.
1,678 entrants today. Okay. That takes us to a field size of 3,967. Now, compared to last year, same time, 4,274. So we are down quite a lot, 500 plus players.
Tomorrow has to be an absolute freaking shit show.
Advancing, 1,249. That puts us at a field size for day 2 ABC at 2,682. That is also down about 460. So down year on year for the first 3 days. Now that's obviously taking into account the July 4th holiday. So I think we're, on par with stats. I think we can kind of interpret this. And what I'm reading from this is that we may struggle to hit 9,000. But like you said, I think we're to be honest, let's be real here. I think we're bullish on a big day 1D. I think we're more bullish. I am personally on the day 2 being a more opportune time for a lot of players to jump in. They can skip 5 days of poker. They can play Aria events, Venetian events, Win events. They can play this 1K no limit Freezeout here. They can play a lot of events. And as we were discussing off camera, they can get in 60 as late as I'm going to potentially get in with 50 bigs. So that's still a lot of big blinds. It's much easier to play than 300 big blind poker. So I think that my early prediction is a bigger uptick in the day 2 ABC and the day 2D registration numbers. And then I think we'll still, be where we're all thinking. But yeah, right now it doesn't look good. But I think we'll get that late surge.
Should they not do it on July 4th? I mean, somehow, obviously, if you don't do it on July 4th, that would involve kind of shifting the dates. So maybe you were to start it the week after July 4th, which then pushes the whole thing a little bit further into July, or maybe you do it somehow where July 4th is a day off. I don't exactly know, but I'm just saying we see the numbers drop on July 4th all the time.
Yes. Well, firstly, I want to say that if you're not aware, I know you're an American and you might not be aware of this, but there are other countries out here in the world. That at one point, a Spanish media outlet comes over and they're like, "Sir, can we interview you?" Okay.
I'm like, "Okay, what's it about?" And they're like, "Independence Day." I was like, "Okay." So
they didn't know who you were.
I don't think they knew who I was.
They didn't know who you were. Donnie Peters, media mogul.
I don't care.
Of the poker
I don't
industry.
expect people to know who I am, but they. So I get up. I'm like, yeah, sure. Just let me play this hand. Whatever. I do the interview, and the guy's like, what's the deal with what makes this day so special or whatever the heck? I don't know. I probably did a horrible representation of fucking America.
Right. What are you doing in my country? But
anyway, yeah, that was funny.
I would say that there are a handful of people that are not American that want to play on this day. There's obviously a lot of Americans that did play today. So I think we need to kind of give that opportunity. But I'm going to say, and if my doc is correct, I hope it is, in 2017 was the last year the main event started after July 4th. So there was a time where the main event started after the July 4th holiday. And I think in a perfect world, that would be ideal. You have July 4th, then you have day 1A. But I think
Yeah, but
having
you want to line it up on the weekend days.
yeah, well, I mean, we can talk a lot about where the dates where those dates should actually fall, and I think debate a lot about when the final table is where we should be building the event off.
Well, yeah, no, but yes, but like I still think you do need to like somehow. It's almost like an impossible task to line up the final table, but then also line up the starting flights because I like the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for that final one. Okay,
can I tell you the greatest idea that has ever come out of Charlie Cerisi's mouth?
Oh God,
that is, and I'll tell you what it is. WSOP, if you're listening, Jack Effel, if you're listening. Well, firstly, you should get clearance by Charlie, but you can have this idea by proxy.
This is
7 day 1 flights, one for every day of the week, because we don't know your schedule. You want to play Monday? I want to play Tuesday. You want to play Saturday? You just figure it out. And guess what? You have the day 2s on what day, Donnie? You have the day 2s on the Saturday and the Sunday. So the week prior to that, all those are starting flights. Now, of course, we're not going to get 6,000 players in one of the starting flights, but maybe it's only 400, 500. But it gives everyone a chance
I'm
to
not
pick
sure how I feel about this.
the days they want. It's the best idea I have ever had, and I have best ideas every day. So,
But that's not your idea.
yeah, but I've made it public.
Okay.
So it's my idea. I claimed it. I think legally I own this idea now.
Okay.
So I think that would be a great idea. Now, that's a lot. That's a big undertaking, but I think that would be the perfect way to do it. But yeah, keep the July 4th holiday, and go from there.
All right. Anything else
on the numbers?
You're the host. You told me
host.
you're flipping it and you're
Okay,
you're hosting. So like, what are we doing?
We're gonna do the top 5.
Stop with this nonsense with the top.
It's so much fun.
The top 5 chip counts.
That's a good
Andre.
one. Let's go with that for now.
Lubadovsky.
Yep. Well done.
392,000. Bin Wang.
Yep.
348,000 or 354,000. Sorry. Braxton Dunaway 234. Calvin Anderson's got 230. John Kite's got 206. James Ops, your boy, 178. Dan Shack 162. Vanessa Selps 155. Who else? Tristan Wade 113. So yeah, look at that.
Dan Shack today said, if I haven't made it clear, I'm wearing jorts today, very short jorts. He said, nice shorts. I said, you can borrow them for day 2. He goes, I can't fit into them. I go, they're stretchy. And he goes, maybe. And I go, but you have to shave your legs. And he goes, I'm out. So that's my Dan Shack story.
This is fitting. I'm on PokerNews.com and I'm looking at they give the end of day chip counts, but then there's this hand that was posted. It seems like right at the end of the night. And it's Quint with a massive cooler to end the night. And the hand is Ben Slack and Josh Quint. They get in this hand. Slack makes it 1,200. They're playing 306 on the last level. Slack makes it 1,200. Quint 3 bets to 3,500. Someone else at the table 4 bets to 10,500. Slack gets out of the way. So wait, why they didn't really? Oh, anyway, whatever. Slack gets out of the way. Quint 5 bets. It's Vermu Lamada calls. Flop comes 10-6 deuce with 2 hearts. Quint bets. He just bets. The other guy jams. Vermu Lamada. Quint is all in. He jams. Quint calls all in. Quint has aces. Vermu Lamada has kings. 10-6 deuce rainbow. Now, I bring this up because yours truly had kings to aces in level 1 and folded preflop.
Because you're the best.
I mean, it was very interesting.
Are you sure he had aces?
100%. He showed the table.
Okay, well then. I was going to ask, did he confirm?
So he showed... it's the end of level 1. This is the last hand before break. Let me find the hand in my hand histories. I am +1. I look down at 2 black kings. We're 8-handed. We are playing 100, 200, first level. I make it 600.
So big.
We're like a bazillion big blinds deep. Hijack calls. Folds to the big blind. He makes it 3,200.
That's
now,
big.
It's a little bit awkward because the guy in between us. So I elect to 4-bet. You know, sometimes I might just call there. Sometimes I can just 4-bet, or I can 4-bet, obviously, yes. But I definitely want to 4-bet with that guy in between. So I make it 10,500. Hijack folds. This guy thinks for a little while. Makes it 21,000.
Okay.
And he's got like 20,000 behind, like 25,000 behind. And I'm just like, Jesus Lord, here we go. I mean, I took like 3 or 4 minutes. We like went into the break. I folded. He like starts laughing and shows two red aces. I grab my hand, turn over 2 black kings. And this guy
reached into the muck, huh?
They weren't exactly in the muck. Okay. And I turned them over. And, you know, because I just, you know, I felt like, you know what I wanted? I wanted somebody to see it. There was only 2 other people at the table because we were into the break. Yeah. I just wanted somebody to see it, that I could have some sort of validation that when I tell people that I actually did this, that like when I'm talking about it now, like, yes, it actually happened.
Yeah.
The one guy in the 1 seat, his name was Jim, and we talked a bit for the day, but he started calling me Super Donnie. I mean, you won't get the reference, but
like Super Dave?
Super Dave Osborne.
Okay.
Yeah, because of my outfit.
What? You think I don't get the... Come on.
I didn't know if you... I didn't know if you would know because it's an American thing.
No, it is American.
But anyway, he was calling me Super Donnie because of that fold. So, I mean...
What did the guy with the aces say, though? That's what I want to know.
I mean, he just said, like, you know, like he was like, very good fold, you know, whatever. Like he was kind of like laughing and happy and whatever. Like just kind of
he's doubling 99% of the time if he just calls you 4-bet. All right, get the 10 high board. You're just gonna, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Anyway, very, very interesting. So I can say that I folded kings to aces pre-flop in the WSOP Main Event. I can't believe I did it. Last year I 6-bet punted my fucking stack off with king queen off, and this year I'm folding fucking kings pre-flop. I mean,
you've improved. You're playing more like me. That means
I've evolved.
Yeah, you've evolved. Let's just wind it back a bit. You got there. What did you think of your starting table? What was your first impression overall, you know, once it started like filling up?
Well, we start 6-handed. It's me. I'm 1, so there's 5 left. 4 of them are Japanese.
Okay.
And 1 was this older guy, Jim. So yeah. The Asian players, they are the new kids on the block. Like they're taking over. They're everywhere.
We can thank Masada for that.
There is no middle ground for the Asian players. They are either really good or they are out of their fucking mind bad. Like there is no middle ground with these players. Like absolutely no. Like they are all over the place. Like there's no one that's just like kind of like right down the middle solid.
Yeah.
Like you have like they're on the extremes. They just are. Like and the ones that are good are really, really, really good. Like they are like really good, you know. And then the ones that are crazy are really, really, really crazy. So anyway, yeah, that was my thought. So I had to sit down and like feel them out. I didn't know anyone at the table. But yeah, I mean I wasn't that active early. I wasn't really dealt anything. You start with 60K. I think I got up to like 65 or something like that, 67 or whatever. Before that hand with the kings happened where I fold. I go into the first break with like 53 or 54K. So it's kind of, whatever. I mean, I'm honestly, I'm feeling pretty pumped up because I just folded kings to aces correctly. Like, I mean, listen, part of me said, like, it's likely this guy has aces. I mean, yes. The other part of me said, I just don't need to. I mean, it's level 1 of the main. I mean, the guy puts half his stack in, right? It's like on the 5-bet. So I'm like, if this guy just has like the ace king, I mean, whatever. I mean, I guess bad fold, whatever. But I just didn't think that was possible. So anyway, I'm happy with that. Level 2, I'm coming back. I'm feeling like pretty good overall about things. I end up just like winning a bunch of pots, and I just get like right up to like 85K, like within like a half an hour.
Okay.
Like I'm pretty much every pot that I play, I'm winning. They're all like somewhat sizable. So I'm liking that. There was let me see if I can find. No, not that one. Yeah, so this one was interesting. This is kind of like how I decided to approach the main event, at least on day 1A, a little bit more. And listen, I think a lot of what you do on day 1A, a lot of people might look at you and be like, "That's nitty," but I don't necessarily think that that's entirely wrong, because this tournament is just so much different. So I feel like you can take these like weirdly more conservative lines with things. So for example, we're now 8-handed, and a good Portuguese player who sat down, he raises to 800 in level 2. So the big blind's 300. I'm next to act +2. I just call ace king off. Like I just don't really feel like there's that much value in like re-raising there. I can just play it post pretty fine. Obviously, if someone wants to re-raise behind me, I can act accordingly. So yeah. Another player called behind. It comes ace high, ace 7-4 with 2 spades. I had ace king with the king of spades. First player checked the pre-flop raiser. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna start value betting. I bet the hijack folded, the original raiser called. So it's ace 7-4 with 2 spades. Turn is a 7, pairs the board. He checks. I bet again. He calls. River 8 of diamonds. He checks. I bet again. He calls. He has ace queen. So good hand there. I mean, kind of also well played by him that he only lost that much, because he can do some betting. I could maybe raise later on, and whatever. So yeah, there's that. There was another hand where shortly after that, where I raised the button with 7-5 of clubs, 8-handed. The big blind, I make it 800 at 300 big blind. The big blind makes it 2,500. Young Asian kid, believe he was Japanese. Now this kid, I believe to this point he had already done a couple 4-bets.
Okay.
And like one time he did a 4-bet and the guy jammed on him, whatever. He snap folded. Like, I mean, he seemed like he was just ready to get after it. I would put him in the crazy part of the Asian group. So he 3-bets to 2,500. I'm like, we're 85,000 big blinds deep. I call. It comes 7-6-4 with 2 hearts. I have 7-5 of clubs. I flop top pair with an open ender. He checks. Now I'm like, okay, this might be on the more conservative side of checking, but I think he's checking because the way that he was playing, I would expect him to play aggressively post flop. And one of the ways that you can attack that way on a texture like this is maybe come with like a check raise and just try and like lower the SPR as much as possible, because we're so deep. So I thought he would be checking like a lot of like pretty good hands as well that might check raise me. Like I think he could, check raise hearts, for example, stuff like that. So I decided to just check back. Turns the 6 of clubs, pairs the board. He comes with a lead for 2,500. I call. River's the 3 of hearts. He ends up betting 5,000. I elect to just call. Hearts get there. Maybe he has 6-7, for example, for a full house. Something like that. Which I think he's the type of guy who would 3-bet like those, like 6-7, 5-6 at times from the big blind. So anyway, I just call. He shows pocket 10s. So I win that pot. But again, like that might be kind of seen as conservative in a lot of spots, but so deep in the main, I feel like I just don't need to bloat a pot, ridiculously. Then this is all on level 2. Then I get kings again.
Card rack.
Yeah, exactly. I open under the gun with kings, 2 red kings, we're 8-handed. The person right behind me calls. the button, which was this old guy Jim, who at first I was like, old man coffee, right?
Yeah.
Like he's an older gentleman. He seemed like he was playing pretty snug. There were a couple times when he like 3-bet that younger Asian kid. The kid 4-bet, like he tanked for a long time. So I was like, oh, he might have like jacks or queens and he feels super uncomfortable here. Like, so there were some of those spots. So he 3-bets me. So I'm like, immediately I'm like, well, this is okay, whatever. I put the 4-bet into 10,500. The other guy folds, and then Jim tanks for like 3 minutes and folds ace jack off face up. And I'm like, well, I guess he's not old man coffee. He's old man get after it.
Yeah.
He's old man Red Bull. So okay. He was like, and he like afterwards, he's like, yeah, I figured I just had one over. And I was like, okay. I mean, I was not folding this one. If he would have won, and I was like, I guess I'm not good enough to fold kings twice pre. In the main event. I'm stopping at 1. Okay, I'm stopping at 1. So yeah. Let me see what else. Now this hand, that hand with the ace jack, and there were a couple other there were maybe 1 or 2 other hands with that guy Jim after the ace jack hand, which led to this next hand. So hijack opens to 800. The cutoff calls. The cutoff is this guy Jim. Hijack opens, cutoff calls. I'm in the big blind with jacks. I call. It comes ace, queen, 8. Ace, queen of diamonds, 8 of clubs. Action checks around. Turn is the 9 of clubs. It's now diamond, diamond, club, club.
Mm-hmm.
I check. Hijack checks. Jim bets 1,500. I call. Other guy folds. River is the jack of spades. I make a set. I check. He bets 2,500. And I'm like, this guy's 3-betting ace jack off and like tanking like he's going to possibly go with it. I'm like, there's been some other couple questionable value bets at times. So I'm like, okay, I don't think this is one of the worst hands I feel like I call. So I call. He's got 10-9 of hearts, so he got there. Made a straight. So it's kind of like whatever, but after seeing what I saw, I was like, I don't think I can fold this hand.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and there were definitely a couple of other hands where I was like, okay, it's I think that was a fine call at the end of the day. A couple of times he did the he got called in the river. He's like king high, like that sort of stuff. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, whatever. He could probably have anything there. Let me see what else is going on here. Oh, this hand. So I played this hand against the Portuguese guy. This is the last hand of level 2. Okay. The Portuguese guy who's a good solid player. He opens from the cutoff seat to 800. I call the button with pocket 3s. Everyone else folds. It comes 6, 6, 5 rainbow. He checks. I bet. He check raises. I bet 1,000. He check raised to 3,000. I call. Turn is a 4. He goes very small, 2,000. I call. River's a king. It goes check, check. He has queen 4. Turn to 4. So, willing to get after it on that sort of flop. I mean, I don't hate the way that this hand played out. I think it seems pretty fine overall. I probably would have obviously folded to a bet on the river, I think. So yeah. So there's that. There was, let me see what else I got here. No. What is this one? Okay, so here's a hand, for example. This one is against that guy, Jim. He opens to 1,000, and this is level 3. We're playing 204, and he makes it 1,000 from the low jack. I called the big blind with ace, 7 of clubs. Becomes 8, 6, 4, 2 hearts. I called button. Big blind called. My fault. It comes 8, 6, 4, 2 hearts. It checks around, turns the ace of spades. Big blind checks. Jim bets 1,000. I call. Big blind fold. River is another 8. He thinks for like a long time, and then he checks. And then I check, and he's got king jack off. So,
Okay.
betting the turn with king jack, I didn't think he was going to call worse on the river. That's why I checked back. So, whatever. But again, he's willing to kind of stab in there at times. This hand was against my Portuguese friend. He's in the small blind. I'm in the big blind. It folds to him. He calls. We're 9-handed now. Melanie Weisner joins the table to my left. He calls. I'm in the big line with Jack 3 of hearts. I check. It comes Jack 9-7 rainbow, but with 1 heart. He bets 400, which is big blind's 300, so he bets 400. Right? Is it 1, 2, 2? No, big blind's 400. He bets the minimum 400. I call. Turn 6. It goes check check. River is an ace. He overbets 4,000. I thought about it and I said, I don't think it makes sense for him to bet an ace on the flop. He had raised twice from the small blind against my big blind before. So I thought hands like, ace jack, probably ace 9, not ace 7, but okay, whatever. I thought the ace jack, ace 9 would probably just raise pre-flop because he seemed like a guy that would attack from the small blind. So I just didn't. I also thought that like on that sort of texture, maybe he just checks like the ace highs of the world. Like it just seemed like a weird to bet that when I can call in position a lot, and you're kind of in this weird no man's land with ace high. So I thought about it for a while. I also thought a hand like, I don't know, if he happened to bet like a 6-7, then he turns 2 pair. Okay, but I thought this might be something like a 10-9 type of hand, like has a pair, but also has the blocker to the straight. Like, okay, so I called. He has Jack 9 for 2 pair. So I lost that one. Whatever. Nothing there. Not much there. This hand. So now this hand is against the kid who I deemed as like the crazy one. He was the younger Asian kid, probably the youngest player at the table, and was certainly getting after it and getting involved. He opens from +2 to 1,100, and we are now in level 4. By the way, we are now in level 4, and he opens to 1,100 +2. I call ace queen off from the big blind with the ace of hearts in my hand. It comes 10-7-7 with 2 hearts. I check. He bets 800. I call. Turn is the deuce of hearts. I check. He bets 1,800. I call. River is the king of clubs. I check. He thinks for like a minute and a half. And I was thinking if he bets, I might check raise because I can block with this ace of hearts. I can have 7s here, etc. So anyway, he ends up checking back. He has king queen. So I get sucked out on against this kid here. I mean, it's whatever, but he's, barreling off the flop and turn, ends up getting there on the river. I had aces another time in here. This was a hand. This was against our guy Jim. I open +2 to 1,200 with ace king off. The cutoff calls, the button calls. Jim's in the big blind. He makes it 8,500. I just call. Both the others fold. It comes queen high, queen 4-3 rainbow. Check, check. I'm in position on Jim. Deuce on the turn. Another rainbow card. Check, check again. River is a king. He bets 6,500. I elect to just call. I thought this was probably bluffs, and like he could have like queens. He like raising and then he's just like checking to like try and get me to like catch up somehow. So I just call. He has ace jack off, just ace high. So again, he's certainly willing to bluff. This hand with jacks I thought was interesting. My Portuguese friend makes it 1,200. I call with jacks. The big blind calls. It comes 8-7-4 rainbow, big blind, and my Portuguese friend check. I bet 1,500. Big blind folds. The other guy calls. Turn is the 8. Pairs the top card on the board. He checks. I bet 4,000. He calls. River's a king. It ends up going check, check. He had ace high. Ace 5 of spades. So these hands, I like these hands because now I know he has a gutter on the flop, right? I believe there was also one spade on the flop. He had ace 5 of spades, so he could have turned some flush draws in addition to having that gutter. But then when he also calls on the turn, the reason why I like these is because it feels like he shows me respect if he's calling with ace high. He thinks I can be betting with obviously worse. So anyway, so there was that. I had I had kings twice, 2 times more, and the last hand of the level was when I had him the second time, and this was the big hand that really kind of messed me up. I got back down to, I don't know, 55, 50, 55, something like that. I end up getting it like all the way back up to like 86, just like winning a bunch of pots. Then this hand comes up. The young Asian kid makes it 1200 from +2. It's level. It's a 205 or sorry 300 500. I'm in the big blind with black kings. I make it 5800. He thinks for a little bit and he calls. Him and I are both, again, I have like 85K. He has like 80K. It comes 4 deuce deuce rainbow. I bet 4,500 into, I think it was 4,500 into 12.5 ish. He raises to 11.5. So now I'm like, okay, I mean, I know that this kid's kind of been blasting, so I'm just going to call to keep all his bluffs in. I was like, there is a chance he has aces here, but I also feel like I think you can flat like this in position with aces. Maybe being this deep, he just wants to like, not just go nuts pre-flop and like get all the money. I mean, whatever. I mean, not that it's bad to get all the money in, of course, but maybe he doesn't think I'm just going to get all the money in. So anyway, whatever. But I also thought that with his image that he had so far, he would probably just 4-bet the aces. Because if I have a good hand, I shouldn't give this guy credit. He has 4-bet. Yeah. He has 4-bet folded at least twice already, if not 3 times. So he just calls in position. So he raises me on the flop. So now I'm like, okay. I'm like, I think this is bluffs. Maybe he thinks like 10s are good, and he's like trying to put pressure on ace king to then hopefully I call, because I don't think I would fold ace king. I would call, and then he can just play it like a check on the turn. Because if I end up just going like bet with ace king somehow, then maybe he like doesn't feel like he can call down. So I don't know. Also, I was like, maybe he has a 5-6 suited. If he's got like 5-6 of diamonds, spades, or clubs, which are on the flop. He's got the gutter, of course. Maybe he has a hand like, I don't know, ace-4 suited, where it's like ace-4 of spades, which 2 pair plus a gutter. Although I think he would call those hands. I also thought he could have all these like random bluffs, like the jack 10s, the 10-9s, like the queen jacks, like all that sort of stuff. That's just the bluffs. I thought if he has a hand like, ace queen, ace jack, maybe some ace 10 suited, he's probably just going to call me in position if he wants to continue. And then there was a part of me that said, maybe he's getting in there with ace deuce suited, which is tricky. Yeah. Right. Because then I'm behind. So anyway, so I just call. Turn is the queen of spades, which brings the second spade. I do have the king of spades in my hand. I check. He checks. I'm like, okay. River is the queen of diamonds. So it comes queen, queen. I thought about betting. I said, you know what? I'm just going to let this kid kind of, go nuts. I check. He bets 26,500. Believe it. The pot was 34 or 35,000. I take a minute or so, and I'm like, I can't fold kings to this kid. I can't do it. Like, I call. He's got ace queen. So, and like I was like thinking, I was like the only queen that I feel like he should have, because I block king queen, but because the bluffs, I thought like queen jack could be some of the bluffs. Yeah. Like if he has like the 10-9s, the jack 10s, because he's raising the flop. Like that's where I was thinking the bluffs. But I was also thinking, I mean, wouldn't he just like, if you're going to bluff, wouldn't you maybe just float with those hands and then bluff on a later street? So I don't know. I was like, why would he have ace queen? Like that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Why would he be raising the flop with ace queen? I feel like you would just, if you have ace queen there, you just would call the flop. I don't know. So anyway, I called. He has ace queen, and I was just annoyed because he beat me in this hand, and I was just like, but this is the one where like, I wish we just played another hand right away. I had to leave and go to break, and I was just like frustrated because I went from 85 down to 40 with this hand, and I was just like, man, come on, like really? like the theme of the day is kings. I had the kings
Yep.
that I folded pre-flop. I mean, correctly so to aces, but still, it's like, it's like a weird feeling when you do that. I'm not sure I've done that before. Definitely not in the main event, but that's also might be weirdly where it's the easiest to do it.
Yes,
But it's still like I had kings. I had kings. Like, and I just folded. I had kings. Like, what am I doing? But then I lost with these here. So yeah. Yeah. This hand, I think I actually screwed up. I made quads. So we get back from the break. So I had that hand when I had kings. I was in the big blind. We get back from the break. We play a couple hands, and I'm in the cutoff here. I have ace nine of clubs. Folds to me. It's 300, 600. I make it 1200. Just a min raise. I'm a little bit shorter now. Still deep, yes, but shorter, whatever. So I'm fine min raising. Small blind calls, big blind calls. Small blind was an Asian kid. He knew the Portuguese guy, I believe, from like online, and he had a lot of results on the app from GG Poker. And he was playing very solid. He was very good. He was aggressive, like selectively aggressive. The other Asian kid, the young kid, was like wildly aggressive. This other Asian kid was a little bit older and seemed very like selective, but like very good. So anyway, I raise, they both call. It comes ace, ace, 5 with 2 diamonds. They both check. I bet 1,000. Small blind fold, big blind calls. Turn is an ace. I make quads. He checks. I decide just to bet small. So I bet 2K. He calls. River is a 5. So now it's ace, ace, 5, ace, 5. Full house on the board. He thinks for like 30 seconds to the point where I like didn't know if it was on me or him. And he checks. And then I thought about what I should do. And I went with an overbet. And I think I should have bet tiny. I should have bet like 1K to induce him to like spaz out and do something ridiculous. Right. Anyway, I did it. I overbet and he took, I don't know, 45 seconds and then folded. So I think I should have bet small.
Yeah.
So I screwed that one up. I think. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I think. So yeah. Then this hand happens in the last level. So yeah, let me just tell the hand, then I'm gonna just be pissed. I know this is like probably really boring for people, but I also know some people like it and they always say they want more hand history, so I'm sorry. Melanie Weisner raises under the gun to 1,500. It's 300, 600. We're in the last level. We're 9-handed. She makes it 1,500 under the gun. The cutoff calls. That's my buddy Jim. The small blind calls. That's my Portuguese friend, the good player. I look down, I see red aces in the big blind. I'm like, oh, baby. And I got down. I lost a bunch of pots during this level, like kind of getting dealt out, kind of just calling some raises, nothing materializing. Like, I can't continue, like just weird stuff. Or not weird stuff, just stuff that is basically blocking me from continuing and whatever. So I get aces. I make it so it's 1,500 call. I make it 7,000 in the big blind with 30,500 behind.
Okay.
She thinks for a little while, and then she calls. Okay. Then Jim calls. Then Mr. Small Blind calls, and I'm like,
here we go.
I'm like, lovely. Can this just be the fucking King 7 deuce rainbow flop, please, one time? It comes queen, queen 9, 2 clubs, 1 spade. It's like this is there's no way I'm hitting that. Like I'm winning this hand. I feel like right. Small blind checks. I decide best course of action is just check somehow, some way. Like hopefully I can just like somehow get the showdown, and this is just good. I check. Melanie checks. Jim checks. Turn 3 of clubs. Like, oh, it just gets better. Like, I have 2 red aces. Small blind checks. I'm like, all right, check. Melanie checks. Jim checks. River, 6 clubs. I'm just like, what in the world? Small blind checks. I'm like, all right, check. Melanie checks. Jim checks. Small blind turns over king queen for trips and says somebody has to have a club, right? I obviously don't. I don't even beat fucking trip queens, so I muck. Melanie rolls over jacks with the jack of clubs, and Jimbo over there just mucks. Lord knows what he had. So that was a frustrating hand, just because, like, I mean, the thing is like I do think I think Melanie was kind of close to folding pre-flop.
Mm-hmm.
She made it kind of a comment afterwards, and I do believe her. She's like, I kind of wanted to fold pre-flop. And then or it's because I said, well, at least you didn't go all in because you busted me, or like, kind of joking.
Yeah.
But she's like, well, I wanted to fold, and I do kind of believe her with the way that she was acting. But anyway, yeah. So there's that. I had aces again in this level. Dude, I had aces.
You're a card rack.
I am a card rack today. I had aces 4 times. I had kings 4 times, and I had jacks twice, I believe, and I had ace king 5 times, 4 offsuit, 1 suited. It was spades.
Jeez.
So I get aces here. My Portuguese friend raises under the gun. I 3-bet from +1. The 2 to my left, the good Asian kid, thinks for a while, asks me how much I have, and I'm like, he's going to 4-bet for sure. Because every time he did like this, he 4-bet. He 4-bets. 1,200, I make it 37. He makes it 85. It folds back to me. I have like 32,000 total. And I'm like, maybe I could just flat. I could also raise.
Click it back.
I did. I made it 15,000 and he folded. So anyway.
Wait, you made it 37.
37. He made it 85. I made it 15-4.
Well, I meant like a literal click back.
I mean, that's like
12.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think I could have just like flatted. And this is like, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think I could have, if I was in position somehow in this world of this hand, I probably just flat and play. But I just, I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't need to like get too cute. I have aces. I don't think there's any necessarily a problem with just, raising again and trying to get the money and whatever. So yeah. Then the second to last hand of the night, which I don't know about this one, man. I don't know. It folds. I have ace king. Shocker. I have another good hand. Folds to me on the button. I have the ace of diamonds, king of clubs. Second to last hand of the night. I make it 1,200. Big blind. The good Asian kid. He calls. It comes ace, jack, 8 with 2 clubs. Ace of clubs and the 8 of clubs. I have the king of clubs in my hand. He checks. I bet 1,000. He calls. Turn is the 9 of hearts. He leads 1,500. What do you do? You got an answer?
Probably call.
I went with call.
Yeah.
The river is the 4 of clubs.
Okay.
So, I mean, I have the king of clubs in my hand, and he comes with a fairly big bet, 7,500. And yeah, I thought about all options, and I honestly folded. And yeah, I'm just frustrated because I don't know if I did the right thing. Yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, I thought about like jamming and leveraging the fact that I have the king of clubs in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got gun shy. And yeah, so I'm not happy with this hand with the way that it finished out. So yeah, I mean, I thought that he probably just has like some sort of 2 pair, like a jack 9 and 8-9, something like that. So yeah, I'm not necessarily happy with that last hand. So yeah, overall, I had aces 4 times. I had kings 4 times. I bagged 35,800. So I just effing suck, and I'm pissed off at myself because it's just unbelievable.
But you're still in. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I know. I understand that, but like, I'm just frustrated that like, I'm just frustrated because like we joke all the time that like I just want aces all day. I mean, I pretty much had aces all fucking day, and nothing happened. Like, I mean, I obviously lost the good sized one with that when I had the red aces and whatever, the 4-way pot. I obviously had to fold the kings the one time. I lost the kings in that huge pot the other time. So like, this is the tilt, me getting the tilt out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get home
You'll be fine.
I'm going to let my dogs out. They're going to cheer me up. I'm sure my daughter is probably in my bed like she is every night. But, and everything will be fine. And I'll be like, you know what? What's the big blind going to be? 800? So I have 40, 50 big
You
blinds.
got heaps.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot. So I'm fine. Like, it's fine. But I am still annoyed that, like, in a way, you kind of dream about, just give me aces and kings all day. I had aces and kings all fucking day. I had them 8 times total. I had jacks twice. I had ace king 5 times. And I have just over half
You should have
starting.
300,000.
I feel like I should have 300,000, Like, I feel like I should have 300,000. So I'm just frustrated with it.
Yeah.
It's also one of those days where I don't, and these days go both ways. I don't know now, like I can obviously review the stuff, and I do. I wrote down every single hand that I played. And as you guys know, because I just went over a lot of them with the hand histories, but I don't know. I feel like I had to play bad. I don't exactly know if I did, but I also feel like I had to, because how do I get that many good cards at a table when people are fairly aggressive and I don't? Now, the one time when the guy had the ace queen and I had the kings, it was a bad run out and he got lucky on me, and that was the biggest pot. It was a 90K pot. So, like, if that goes my way, then it's an entirely different story of the day. So, yes, I got unlucky, but, like, also it's like, should I fold that river? I mean, it's just, so I just don't know. And when I say that this thing goes both ways, because I could have, let's say I finished with 300K, I could think I played incredible, and I could have played like a complete dolt, but you think you play amazing. So, like, now maybe I didn't play bad and I just ran shitty, but I'm thinking that I played bad, right? So I need to review it. I need to just go through it. I'm just in my feelings right now about the whole effing thing, because it was just a very frustrating day. So yeah, I mean, whatever. So that's me. And at the end of the day, I'm human, and it's just annoying to me. I'll get over it in an hour, and I'll move on with my life. But yeah, I'll be back. I'll be ready to go for day 2. I got plenty of chips to work with. I just thought, how can I be such a card rack and have 35K? Now, I will say, I mean, I'm amped up that I folded kings to aces and I, like, that was correct. I was right. The guy showed amazing. Okay, fine. Like, but I kind of just wish that I was rewarded for making that good fold, in a weird fucking way, but nothing is deserved in this life. So the hell with it, anyway, thoughts, please. I need to stop talking. Just talk, please.
I mean, like I said, you made it through. I think you have to just focus on the next day. Can't really think about the 17 million pocket aces you were dealt.
Really,
and what resulted in half a starting stack.
It really is outrageous.
Plenty of people on the rail that, so I don't know. I think of poker way differently now. So, okay, on to the next one, on to the next day, and just take it as it's dealt to you, as they say. So, but yeah, kind of just some of those hands are just kind of shitty runouts and shitty spots, and you have to just, hey, I got away from it here, or made a good fold there, and kind of be mentally prepared for day 2, because it's only going to get more exhausting as we keep going.
Yeah.
I
mean, we'll see. We'll see. But all right, that was my day in the WSOP main event. I bagged 35,800 from a starting stack of 60K. I think it's the lowest I've ever bagged day 1. Last year, I know I bagged like 160 or something, and then gave it all away. The other 2 days, I think I bagged around starting, like 50 or 55K or something like that. So, yeah. Anyway, if you think I played bad, let me know. Talk in the comments, whatever. I'm not gonna not be transparent about things. Yeah. And the people that you see in this fucking tournament, dude, I mean, it's just outrageous. There was one guy was at another table, but he had a friend at my table, and he kept coming over, and like you could just tell the way that he was talking, the verbiage that he was using. There's no way he's ever winning in poker. I'm sorry. There's just no way. Like, you know, he was like, he would like come over and just like basically brag about everything.
Like winning hands and stuff, you mean?
He's like, oh yeah, I'm just, you know, I just need to get back to, you know, playing my game, just like smashing these people, you know, like, but he's like saying this like loud, so like everyone can hear. So I just, you know, I'm down a little bit. I just got to play my game. I just got to smash, you know, like whatever. And then he told this hand history. He gets all in with, he ends up having Queen 8 against Kings, and I think he flopped 2 pair and got his money in and doubled up against the guy with Kings. He ended up making a full house. But he gets all in, and he's like yelling from his table, and he's all in to his friend at our table.
Mm-hmm.
So he doubles up with that hand. He comes over afterwards, and his friend is like, you know, so like basically asked him how the hand played out. And this guy told quite possibly the worst hand history I have ever heard in the history of mankind. Like first of all, he said he called on the button. He's like, I was the last one in. Well, you're not if you're on the button because there's the blinds behind you. Like, so, you know, like that's problem number one. Then he says after the flop, it comes Queen 8, whatever. He's like, I checked. I'm like, well, that's also not possible because you're on the button now. I'm like, so what exactly is happening in this? I'm like, so like I'm just like, you know, it's just like, and then his buddy was like, yeah, but were you all in pre-flop or, you know, post-flop? Like I was like, oh no, I would never go all in with that pre-flop. Never. I needed to. What he used a specific term. I wanted to smash my 2 pair. Like, and I'm just like, what? Like, what is going on? So anyway, so that was funny. Jim was hilarious. We start talking. He's calling me freaking Super Donnie Osborne or whatever the hell the whole time. Then at one point he just says, the Portuguese guy says something like, I get to play poker in Vegas or something like that. And Jim basically makes a comment that says, I'm nationwide. Like that's what he says.
No, that sounds awesome.
And I'm just like, what the hell is this guy talking? He's like, I'm nationwide. And I'm like, okay.
Because he plays everywhere.
And then he goes to the tune of 220 million. And we're all, Melanie and I are like, what are you talking about? And then he goes into this whole thing, how he manages all this money. And like whatever the fund that he manages is 220 million. Now,
got it.
Melanie looked him up. It seems pretty legit. He was given all these stock tips. Melanie was grilling him for like an hour. Like, what are your stock tips? Like, he's like talking all this stuff.
Record
like, whatever.
on your phone and get those stock tips for me.
I mean, basically, it was what you already know. First thing he said was buy Amazon and hold them. He said just hold. He said just buy the top 5 and hold them.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Although he is bearish on Tesla specifically.
Tesla's banging right now.
Yeah, but he says it's so inflated. It's like not even funny.
Inflated. Yeah. I don't have much in Tesla.
But he was also saying like he's like, listen, because Melody was like, yeah, but like I want something right now. Right, I want something right now. And the guy was like, listen.
Stock's on about right now,
he said,
Melanie.
the best, the people, all the money, the people of the money that I manage, the ones that do the best are the ones that I talk to once or twice a year. Because they just put their money in and they don't talk about it and whatever. Exactly. See, I know you do this. I like to do this too. Like you just kind of set it and forget it.
Just set it and forget it.
So yeah. So he was talking about that sort of stuff. He was pretty bullish on Bitcoin. He said that
that's good.
He said his entire fund allocates, I believe he said 12% to Bitcoin.
That's a pretty big
and they were in on Bitcoin when it was 12,000.
Okay.
Because Melanie said, when did you like realize that like Bitcoin, he said Bitcoin is here to stay and it's just not going to fail. It's too big, whatever. And then she said, you know, well, when did you realize that was the case? He said, I think right around when it was 12,000. So if that's the case, he's made a good amount of money on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, you know, he was pretty much just like, you know, buy Amazon, buy Meta, buy the big things. You know, he got into Apple when it was super old. You know, they still hold it to this day. I mean, he was saying like, yeah, you know, we like, you know, $40-50 million in Apple is like what we bought, like stuff like that, you know? So anyway, very interesting conversation. And then I don't know how I feel about this. the camera was on me a lot today.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people were like, who the fuck is this guy? And I kept just trying to like play it off like, well, do you see what I'm wearing? Like, do you,
Yeah,
like,
that's a very good way to do it.
like,
actually.
obviously, whatever. But like when they start talking to you, whatever, it's kind of, and then, like the Portuguese guy was like, no, they know you. They know you. Cause like they would, hey, Donnie, how's it going? You know, whatever. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to, I got to be incognito.
So you need the AirPods and you won't hear anyone.
No, but I got to just be incognito.
Yeah, maybe not wear the brightest jacket in the room.
Well, I wanted to be festive on 4th of July. I wanted to be fun with it, you know?
I was a big fan.
But yeah. Anyway, it was a good day.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't a good day. It was good that I bagged. It was good to play. So like, there's the good parts about it. The bad part was that I'm just tilted by the results, but can't be results oriented.
Well, it's 1:54 a.m. So I'm gonna blast through some info real quick, so we can get out of here. Real quick, 800 summer celebration won by Italian Giuseppe Zarbo. He topped 7,078 entrants. He won $500,000. Congratulations to Giuseppe. The 10K 8 game, they just bagged up actually. Eric Watson holding a commanding chip lead over Mike Gorodinsky. He's got 10.1 million to Goro's 1.5. They are playing for 422K, guaranteed 277. John Turner in third. Brian Tate was overnight in fourth. K.O. Burns Kangaroo Crew, fifth place. Bradley Jansen, sixth. Thomas Taylor, seventh place. And your boy, Mr. $141, Jeremy Osmus, final table bubble, eighth place. We had a 1K no limit hold'em kickoff today, 2-day event, turbo.
I mean, the thing is, hold on quickly. We're now up to 517 points in fantasy, which is 16th place. Now, that doesn't sound that great. When first place is BTG, they got 1,015. But, I mean, we're only 225 points off cashing. I mean, it's not like the cashing is right there.
Yeah.
So winning is pretty much not possible, but cashing is still well within reason.
Steven Song's going to win the main event, so we'll find that.
Okay.
1K no limit hold'em, just burst the bubble. Chip leader, Sean Deep.
Wow.
You know, we touched on some player of the year stuff, how he's maybe skipping the main event. This could be a case right here where he's going to play these side events, 2-day, 1K, no limit, you know, put that stamp on the player of the year. $2,500 Freezeout, 1,299 players down to 25. I think they just bagged, Pawal Brzezinski is a chip leader, 5.5 million. Victor Dizovetsky still in there. Fourth place on the chip counts is our Lord and Savior himself, Kerry Katz. Fourth in chips there. And that's kind of it for what's going on with the World Series. Tomorrow, do you know what event's starting?
The main event.
Correct. No other event is starting. Just the main event, day one.
I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one. We expect. Before we end it, before we hit that 2 a.m., quick community cards segment. The hats are flying out. Okay. They're going left, they're going right, they're going center. Nick stopped me while I had a mouthful of high chews about a hat, got him a hat. We've had many people saying massive family pot or shout out family pot, like using the whole, you know how we always do shout out massive?
Shout out massive.
It's becoming a thing. Like it's becoming a thing.
I swear, if you could somehow like control F massive for all of like poker content, written poker content.
It's everywhere.
It's by far the most used word.
Yeah. So seeing a lot of that, I want to play a quick video from Michael Laramie he sent to us. This is the email. I've been listening to your pod and watching your streams a bit too much around my daughter who just turned 3. For context, I heard her talking to herself about PokerGOs.
Okay.
So this video attached, producer Rich played here. You guys can hear that now.
Oh, we're going to the list.
What are those?
PokerGOs.
Those are your PokerGOs? Okay.
So yeah, it looks like his daughter likes to say PokerGOs. Maybe you need to work on that. Michael, Sean Monahan, he sent a picture through us. It was a picture of the PokerGO podcast hat and a ECW music CD. You know, when we were talking about ECW the other day, so that was pretty cool. Shout out to Andy Heidelberg. He was playing today over there in Horseshoe Event Center. Bag 72-2. So congrats. He was wearing the podcast hat, nice and proud. And then little shout out to a listener of ours, a friend of ours, a media member, Chad Holloway. He was on the feature table today. Did you hear about this?
I see that he bagged 128,000.
He bagged 128,000. He came up to me, he's like, "Oh yeah, I was up there. You know, I talked about you, which led to us playing the shop ad, and then our producer Pat telling me to run and sit in the audience. So I sat in the audience, emotionless, to the laughs of David Tuckman in the country booth. But yeah, Chad was up there, 128K. He played some hands questionably, he said. So he wants to review those on the next PokerGO podcast. But otherwise, yeah, day 1C, the WSOP main event is in the bag. Day 1D tomorrow. That's going to be day 40 of the World Series. When you got 11 more to go. Coming to an end very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hope I can turn things around on Sunday.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you guys can, obviously, you can understand how I feel. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? All right. We done?
Yeah.
All right, cool. He's Tim Duckworth. I'm Donnie Peters, and we will talk to you on the next episode.
So, yeah.